Well, hi there, and thank you for joining me for a few thoughts from my Word Chipper's Notebook. You know, there's something going on these days in my state of North Dakota and across the entire nation that reminds me of a great line that William Shakespeare wrote in his play The Tempest. Those words were, "What is past is prologue." Now, these prophetic words are also inscribed over the entrance to the building in Washington, D.C. that houses our National Archives. What's happening now is an assault and an insult by state legislators and right-wing political and religious groups on public libraries, on librarians, and on their readers. That made me think of the past, all the way back to 1973. It was then that the school board in the small community of Drake, North Dakota, burned some books. And what was the book that started all the burning and the ruckus? Well, it was Slaughterhouse-Five by the late Kurt Vonnegut. This historical work is a combination of fiction and nonfiction from World War II and was assigned to students as a reading assignment. See what they think about the book. And do a book report. You know the drill. According to an article archived by no less than the New York Times, the students loved the book, and some said it was the best book they'd ever read. But the ruckus all began when one student told her mom the book contained rough or profane language. And when Mom went to the school board with that complaint, they agreed with her. But not only did they ban Slaughterhouse-Five from being assigned by English teachers in their school, they went a step further. And this is what got the media excited, the American Civil Liberties Union, and the Authors League of America, who called what the school board did a primitive act of censorship. So actually, what did the school board do? Well, they ordered the school's 32 paperback copies of Vonnegut's book burned in the school furnace. And there was another book they wanted collected and thrown in the furnace as well, and that was James Dickey's Deliverance. You may remember the movie made based on the novel Deliverance. It started with dueling banjos. And the author himself, Kurt Vonnegut, wrote about the burning of his book in North Dakota in a later book, his 1981 Palm Sunday. In this book's foreword, he gave the school board a lesson in the First Amendment to the U.S. Constitution. Well, that narrow-minded book banning and burning happened a half-century ago. But there's something going on here in our state in 2023 and across the country that really harkens back to that bad moment in 1973. This year, our North Dakota legislature passed a couple of library controlling bills, totally unnecessary and needless and wasteful. Well, one bill would have made criminals out of librarians if they displayed a book that violated state government rules. Thankfully, Governor Doug Burgum vetoed that bill, and the veto held up and the law wasn't passed. But the second library controlling bill was indeed signed into law. This law removed the criminal penalties for librarians, thankfully, but it ordered all public libraries to file reports with state government as to how their library is classifying books. What goes in the adult section, what goes in the children's section, what has sexual content or is obscene, and so forth. And determining what is obscene is a real challenge, has been for decades. I mean, do you ban the Holy Bible from the teen section? It's as if state legislators know more about managing a library than professional librarians or the local library boards that responsibly oversee libraries. These laws are wasteful and expensive, consuming the resources of budget-strapped local libraries. It's a needless use of both financial and human resources. But North Dakota isn't the only state where lawmakers are trying to control local libraries and what people read. Minnesota has crowds going to school board meetings complaining about what is in the school libraries, based on vague political and religious reasons. Now, Idaho is on the forefront of this book banning effort. In fact, they took the shocking action recently of defunding a statewide e-book program. I recently received a quotation from my 1961 high school classmate, Ruthie Bodie, that sort of summarizes what's going on here with all this book banning and censoring. The quote is, "If you're afraid that books might change someone's thinking, then you're not afraid of books. You're afraid of thinking." That's a good one. So what can those of us do who oppose this kind of legislative behavior? First of all, find out who your state legislators are in your district, and then know how they voted on these kinds of library controlling bills. In the next election, when you go to the polls, you can vote accordingly. You know, there's another book that just came out that I have right here. This came out of my local library. It's James LaRue, On Censorship. A public librarian examines the cancel culture in the U.S. Well, I appreciate your viewing my little audio-video essay here. And if you like it, be sure to hit the like button. I want you to come back for the next essay, which will be coming up soon on a different subject. So hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the action here. In the meantime, remember what Michelangelo said at age 87. In Italian, it's ancora imparo, if my Italian is any good. In English, that means I am still learning. And aren't we all? Take care.